You're listening to Critical Mass Radio. Now it's our turn.
Aloha. GAIA SOPHIA Dreaming. Mike here. Thank you all for tuning in with the heart. Much love, much gratitude. It's in the heart where we're all one and interconnected and live in harmony, joy, wholeness with each other. Where there's no separation, there's no division. Duality was an old game we played and no longer lessons to be learned from that program. And quite naturally, here we are. Did we have to go anywhere to recognize all is self? Love is. We live as one. Nope, we didn't have to go anywhere else. Right here. Much love and gratitude. Heart lines are always open. Anyone like to chime in, please feel free to do. Aloha.
Aloha, Mike.
Aloha. Yeah. Aloha. Yeah, great to hear you. Yeah, you got your wish, huh, Mike? You got Max to come on to the table. Good job.
Yes.
And that was my first time hearing him. I've been listening to you and Kate and Santos and Dale Donahue and Siobhan, and he was on my list, but so I finally got to hear him. That was really nice. It was good.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And remember, I was trying hard to get Siobhan and Kevin on the table. And we
got him, yeah. Yeah.
And then we tuned it back to everybody. Me and Mark are laughing. I was just like, there's a few brothers here that are going to come to the table. Let's see if we can get them to tune in because I'm feeling them. Because they're just so resonant. They're real. You listen to them, they're real. You feel the heart.
Exactly.
It isn't just this knowledgeable being sharing you this information. And Seven will tell you, it's the intent right from the get-go. The message has already been delivered, and now we're putting words to it.
Right.
That's what we got to remember. Love is already here. We just keep trying to express it and sometimes mess it up.
Yes.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yes.
So that was something that, and then it was almost like, well, not almost like, it's I feel this. This is, I want to say coming into being, but as Kate and many at the Emerald Table is reminding us, even myself, GAIA SOPHIA, life, is reminding us that we've already come together. We are together. We just had to, where is it that we're together? And that's where I'm like, in the heart, it's where we're already together. And come together is almost like when we think about it, oh yeah, come together, okay, I'll meet you over here. Well, what are we coming together for? Oh yes. And I'm like, guys, we've been listening to this tune for a long time. I love it. I'm here to remind you, you're home. We've come together already. The message has been received. We've done it. Actually, we never left each other. That's the beauty of it all, is that we were never separated. We were never separated. Even if you, for all the beautiful thing is we were always in God's grace. We were always in Mama's, heart. And when you tune in, you remember this. And I'm grateful. I'm very grateful. So where would we like to flow with this on my mother and all's birthday, 5/23. The tilt of the planet when you look at it from one perspective externally. And came through in 69, came through the portal. And I used to joke, they went to the moon was the so-called story that they went to the moon was to cover up who was coming. And that was all of us. With 13, Gloria. That is it. Way here. And then you open your eyes and you're like, hey, you're here. Wow. It's not just me alone in this. And we have that moment of reflection where we think that's all there is. And when you take a deep breath, and in a way you release this fear, which is when you take this deep breath, you tune more into your heart, and naturally the fear just disappears because it's not real. And that's it. The more we tune in with our heart, the more we self-love ourselves and each other, the more we just express that with a smile, a hug, a kind thought, a warm feeling. We're tuning more in with our hearts, and the picture is coming clearer. The mirror is getting cleaner, and we're realizing how we truly live with one and all, and that's the birds and the bees and the trees, Mother Nature, the funny guy down the street, the crazy old woman you thought over there, yes, everyone. You know that. You mean even that guy over there? Yep, that guy over there.
Yep.
He can choose to do something else. He's still one with us. That's what we got to remember. Just because someone chooses to do something else. Hey, buddy, we're all going to go over here in this pure water of love. You want to come? Well, you're already here. I'm going to go choose to jump back in the mud puddle. Really? You know what's in that mud puddle? It wasn't just, water and dirt. I'll jump in that mud puddle with you. It had all this other, let's just call it icky stuff. Yeah, let's not get too complicated with it. We do still have that choice, and that's kind of a perplexing one, in the sense that we do it ourselves in, let's call it, minor ways, and we have our own little things to work on, and they're not holding you back. That's what we got to remember. They're not holding you back. Whatever it is you might feel that you're not complete or you're lacking, or where you need to do something. I got to clean my house. I got to eat better. I got to exercise. Yep, all these things will assist you more. Tune in with you and your heart and all, but they're not holding you back. And that's why I didn't do this, and then we lessen our self-worth. Your infinite self-worth already. How can you lessen that? You can't. So in our minds, our feelings, this is going away. This limiting belief in ourselves. Oh, I don't like this part of me. I'm not perfect. Oh, well. And I've had those conversations with myself in the mirror. And then you look in the mirror later. Mike, this part of you want it to change? Yeah. If you had a choice, This is, this is the Geminis clearing the air. This is what's so powerful. We clear this mental construct because we lived in it, live in it. All these frequencies running through, we're like, it's polluting my peace of mind. And so I looked in the mirror and realized where I was doing it to myself and said, Mike, quit looking in the mirror and judging you, what others might think of you. Others might not like this part of me. I'm not as pretty or whatever. I'm like, this is it. An interrelation with self. The more we just, if I love even that part of me. If it changes, wonderful. But if it doesn't, wonderful. I love it still. There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with me. It's knowing that. And from here, well, we tune into our natural beauty. And if that doesn't resonate with you anymore, naturally it changes. Your face clears up if that's what it needs to be. But not from you having a limiting thoughts of yourself, but it's recognizing the whole beauty of you. And I'm so just grateful that I've had mirrors, and in this case, other beings to remind me of myself and to share that love. Thank you, Mom. Thank you, Grandma. Thank you all. All you. So, heartlines are always open. I'm going to open up my mom's mic real quick here. So she doesn't want to. I finally realized, how can I get my mom on the show? Remember I was talking, we were sharing about this. I can't get my mom. She's trying on the computer. And then I just remembered today. Wait a second. Janet calls in on her phone. Barbara calls in on her phone.
That's how you do.
My mom's got a phone. And the way minutes and whatever charging and stuff like this, it's, like if I told you what I pay for my phone, it's basically free. And this is what it's reminding us. We are communicating right now with our hearts. We're using this technology to simulate what we're naturally doing. So if we like to share, close this computer, we are still having this conversation in our hearts. And that's what this is what's coming clear, and we're remembering this. And this is what me and my mom always shared. Well, man, our hearts are always here. We're always sharing this love with each other. The Mother Nature, GAIA SOPHIA, is always sharing this love with us. The Galactic Mother, always sharing this love with us. The whole core, everything. So let me do this real quick. Aloha, Mom. Can you hear me?
I called to wish you a happy birthday, my son. I am in labor right now. You're not born yet. Not for 2 hours. What do you think of that, my baby? He's my baby now.
I'm a young, remember, of 4. And
he's still my baby. I love you. Now you can take me off the air, my dear.
All right, I love you.
Aloha.
Aloha,
Mom.
She's still here. She can hear me. Yeah, so please
Aloha.
share some love with my mom because she's a very feeling woman, and my feeling is she hasn't allowed herself to feel this from so many because there's been a lot of hurt around, and that's the beauty of coming to the Emerald Table, the family table. Is we're like, let's leave that hurt behind. There's no longer, we don't need to carry that baggage anymore. And we're tuning into the love that we're all sharing with each other. And so, Mom, all these people who tune in, we all love you.
Yes, we love you, Mom.
Great to hear your voice. It's beautiful.
Yes, we had to stop in more often. We need you.
Yep.
Aloha and much love from Southern California, Mama.
Well, so as my mom likes to joke with me on my on our birthday, but it's your birthday too. If you're a mother, your child's birth is your birth, of course.
Yeah.
And she would be like, "Hey, Mike, it isn't 11:53 or somewhere around there in the morning." And she's like, "You ain't bored yet?" And I'll be laughing on her. "Yeah, I'm over here in the womb still, Mom. Oh yeah, I'm coming out soon again."
Don't be premature now.
Yeah. I got an imagination. You ladies know this. I got beautiful imagination, and it's been I recognize it as a gift. It's been shared with me, and so I look at that when I get this reminder and I'm laughing. I'm like, oh yeah, oh, in more ways than one. And this is my feeling when. That, like, we're here with Earth, and she's birthing this new world that many people have been sharing for many years. And now we're realizing, hey, guys, I think we've gone through all that pressure and that release, and we're here. You know? At least she is. I'm recognizing Mom's here. You know, Mother Nature's letting me know, yes, Mike, that world you dreamed of being and living in, yeah, it's here. Tune in. What about all this other junk that's still going on? Like we're sharing remnants of the old overlay on the natural organic, and the winds of change are blowing that away. The air is being cleared. The mental pathways are being reattuned with the heart, so all can live in love, Lokahi, unity, harmony, balance with one another. But I don't talk about tomorrow or time in the so-called past. This is always now, today. And then, well, Mike, what about tomorrow? Tomorrow will be today when we're living it. Tomorrow is today when we're living it. Yeah. Well, as you guys know what I'm sharing. So, yeah, I'm happy here. Take a few breaths myself. Maybe we will go with this. Alvita, on your end, let me do your mic check real quick. Yeah. That's the gargling, the and I think on that end you just sometimes have to. I don't know if you have a mute button. You got to toggle back and forth between this. And when I started tuning in with the show, Kate will remind you, I used to hang up on myself through Skype. I'd be all excited, and they're both red buttons, the mic and the hang up button, right next to each other. It's like really like I got something to share, and I unmute my mic, and I hung up on me, and then I call back and we'd be laughing. Okay, so on that end, that's the little bit of the gargle, and that might give clear to that.
Okay, I'm gonna mute out.
Right. Yeah, it's something to do with the mic. If you're too close to the mic, or as Kate reminded me, you might just have to lower the volume on your what do you call it? Speaker. If you go up to conversations, there's a place where you can lower your volume, or you go to your microphone and you lower your volume a little. But it's wonderful. I hear you much louder and clearer than the other times. So, because many times it was kind of the opposite end. Okay, and Colleen, let me do this. Yes, Colleen, that's where the Morse code is coming from, Southern California. It's coming through that channel. So let's share about this. Colleen, did you see this photo in the somebody posted about off the coast of California, 6.66 miles?
This morning?
Yeah, under the water and underwater base, you can see the columns of water. somebody has it on Facebook, and you check the link. Again, take it as well. What resonates with you? Right there.
And what is it, Mike?
It's an underwater, like extraterrestrial or whatever you want to call it. Call us. Other parts of.
Okay, yeah, I saw it and just scanned it. I was gonna look at it later. It's like an opening into a what did they call it?
Yeah, I was saying underwater space or something. An opening.
Like underground. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, an opening, a portal that some lights have been seen going in and out of, dipping from many, since way back when people have watching, you know, they Southern California, you watch the sunset in the ocean. So you're looking out at this, and so many people have seen lights and stuff. So what I was wanting to
Mike, I've seen that for many, many years. I don't know where they're saying it is, but not so much here in the past few years where I am, but in the Laguna Beach area and over there, we used to sit, a friend of mine had a home right, practically on the sand, and we used to just sit and watch the ships gone in and out of the ocean and all over. So, it wouldn't surprise me that there is some type of base under there.
So it's beautiful. Remember, people talk about, well, this is the picture where we live coming clearer, and this is what we're tuning into as when the definition, Kate brought that to the table, and many of us just went, oh, the spell is broken. We just recognized it immediately. And it wasn't just Kate's writing, and she'll share with you that. It's all of us kind of coming together. And there was, in a way, Kate clarifying with us here. We just so resonated with us. And then, before that, there was a few other, in the last 6 months, just certain kind of things just coming clearer that just open up life. Clear, open up life. You're not your name now. You, boom, just opened up life. You're free. You just, all this other living came, and I'm like, wow, do you realize that? That you're not the legal name. That legal name is a fictional paper. However, some of us so elegantly put it, it's a fictional reality, like a book you go into the library. You go into the fiction, nonfiction. And this is where the confusion starts right there. Everyone's like, what's fiction? What's nonfiction to this day? We still got that backwards. Fiction is not true. Nonfiction is not true. Okay? You see where they fucked us up since kindergarten?
And that changes every day, doesn't it? What was said was fiction is now, wait, no, it really is here.
Yeah,
so that's why to stay really open, right? To stay really open, because things are changing every day, and in every moment we're being shown all the different levels and layers and the veil lifting. It really is mind-boggling. The times that we're living in. It's just absolutely beautiful. Challenging at times, but incredibly beautiful, blissful.
And the awareness is, well, what people so-called counter-argument with, there's war over there, and that's going over there, and there's people starving there. And that's to remind us it isn't finished. That's to remind us, as Kate and the others stand to post. We're not done yet. Is this new world that many people have been tuning into, New Earth, however they want to express it, here? Yes. It ain't somewhere else. Know this. And so this veil that's getting cleared, it's like you see the veil parts and that beautiful dance of the 7 veils. And now here's the next veil, guys. It's, where are you? And this is the one I've been tuning in and we've all been sharing with GAIA SOPHIA Dreaming. Where are we? If we talk about, well, Mike, who are you talking about? Mother Earth? You're talking about the planet? Yeah, exactly. Where are we? Well, we're in space in the Milky Way galaxy. Try again. Where are we? Okay, let's look at a map. Like I said, like a two-dimensional flat surface. And they put a so-called picture of the cosmos, universe. And they showed them galaxy, our Milky Way galaxy, and our sun. I'm like, and now, okay, where are we? Because we're not on that piece of paper that you're showing me a picture of where we are. Just like if we went to the mall and, you know, where are we? Or you go to the airport and it says where, and, you know, it says you are here. Just like you're looking in the mirror, you don't go, that's me. Oh, yeah, here I am. No, you're still right here. You're pointing to something representing in a picture where you think you are. And so this is one of the last veils I feel to fall, to become clear. Just where are we? Where's Waldo? You know, there's these different things with kids. Where's Waldo? Where's Carmen San Diego? Where's Mike? I've had that one. Where's Mike at this one? People would used to ask. But I've had other names that people referred me by. Where's Tex? Where's he at now? Yeah, savoir-faire is everywhere. And so, where are we? We don't look at this. The world was accepted as flat for so long. This is what we were taught. And then you don't fall off the end of the earth. And then the world was accepted as we are the center of all. This earth or this planet or whatever we refer to it was the center of all. The sun and everything revolved around us. And that was so-called accepted thought. That's what we were taught. And then we were taught, no, we go around the sun and the planets and the moon goes around us and we go around this. And I'm like, that's what we were taught that we thought before. Again, we were taught this, but that's what we thought before. And so we accepted the latest version was, okay, that's what we are. We're revolving around the sun and this. And I'm like, yeah. That was kind of the latest version most people bought or accepted. Just like we accepted this name game, and now that's clear. Now we're clearing where we believed we were. And now we're going to know where we're here. Here we are. Where is it? Yeah, well, here. Okay, now let's describe it. We're in the core. The galactic core isn't someplace out far in space. It's right here in the middle, in the center. Mike, but where are you pointing? I'm not pointing away. I'm pointing right here in the center. This is how you got to look at a sphere. And this sphere is boundless. This is the other part you got to understand. Understand. Because when you look at it the other way, oh, and it's an expanding universe. It came from the Big Bang. There was a beginning, and now, and I'm like, that's such a limiting way of looking at things. And it's actually, since it's a limiting way, it leads you into other limiting thoughts and patterns because it confuses your place in the universe. And you think, what's the big deal about that? Well, before, you would have thought you'd fall off the end of the earth and bye-bye. It's that intimate in your identity, not your legal name, not your, and it's just to have that, because we've always had this, Are you in heaven? Are you in hell? We're going to Nirvana. We're going there. I'm going back to my home planet. I'm going over there. And the list goes on and on. I can share with all. We have shared with each other. All these other places to go except here, because we didn't really remember where here is. And now that this veil is being cleared, this veil is opening. The more you tune in with your heart, it just gracefully opens and shows you, here you are, Mark. You're in the core of all, in the heart. Well, where is that? That is everywhere. That is all. We were led to believe this separation that put time and distance and so-called hours between us and each other and everything and our place in the universe and the ground we actually standing on right now, or wherever you think your soul resides. It's never been anywhere else. Always here. Because here is everywhere. This is coming clear. If someone would like to tune that in a little more. This is the difference, because usually when we look at a sphere, we would say it contains. This is where I didn't want to say here contains everywhere, because it's not a container, this sphere we're in, this core. This core contains all. We're inside it. We're not even inside it. We're one with it. There's no separation. So we're even transcending that way of relating to it in the sense of seeing inside and outside, because we're recognizing there's no difference, right? Yes, there's no difference. So we're not looking into outer space. That's the first part of confusing where we are. You think you're looking into outer space when you see the stars at night, when you see the sun and the moon. Even though we kind of have this feeling because they're so, in a way, close to us. It's like they're on a sky dome. Like imagine they're right there. You can touch them. The stars are a little bit further, and that's even just looking at it from an outer space perspective. That's where we, right there, we separate our in the thinking. Having that viewpoint separates us from, create distortion, and we do not have a clear view of where we truly are, because we're not looking into outer space. That's the false belief. So if you want to talk aliens and spaceships and flying crafts and stuff, I'm like, you're not coming from outer space. They're not coming through like the so-called space shuttle and whatever these rockets, burning through the upper atmosphere, through the shield around the Earth and coming into here. No, that's not how it flows. And so this all has to do with, where are we? Here. And even describing the Earth, this is very important. Mother Nature's tuning us in. GAIA SOPHIA dreaming. She's tuning us in to feel and see and this picture clear. And when we do this, wow, Mike, how does this change things? Well, what kind of goes hand in hand with me is like, this knowledge, as this veil parts, what this also means is we are no longer living in the old system. It's like that program, as we've said, is finished. It's over. But the ideas that connected us with that residue of distortion are now no longer do that because those ideas have been tuned in to what truly is, and that is who you are and where you are. So I'm happy because it's being shared. I'd love for others to kind of help me, assist me in describing this. I read, I search, I've looked, and I had the conversations, and this part I haven't heard quite described yet. And I'm like, because there's some parts of that we just have still been confused about. So let's get some lines here open and see what others like to share on this.
So, Mike, when we're looking at the sky, what are we really looking at? Like when I saw that rainbow butterfly cloud, and it just was so pretty, and we were so excited watching, and the colors just kept changing and moving out of this huge butterfly cloud, and then it turned back to white after it turned to blue. First it turned to emerald green, really bright, and then it turned to blue, and then it just turned back into white. But so what are we seeing? That is confusing for me.
Yeah. Let's just not, it's just lights in the sky. Maybe it's a UFO. Maybe it's this. Maybe it's that. All this kind of doubt. It's what's coming clear. And something I was going to add to this. So, anyone else chime in? Please feel free.
Yeah. I would like to say that we are the disclosure, we are the shifts, we come and go. It's us, It's all of us. We are everything, everywhere, present all the time. Nothing surprised me no more.
Yeah. So when we look, this is it. We have this kind of disconnect, disbelief with what we see in reality, outside in reality, what people generally term reality. And then they'll go, but that wasn't real. So you accept this part of the picture, but not this part of the picture. As Alvita was just saying, hey man, I'm accepting pretty much all of it. It's not like I'm accepting bullshit, but I'm at least, okay, I'm calling it out.
Yeah. It's there. Not everyone sees it, but, it's us.
Yeah, I'll leave that. I'll leave that part. So, as this picture's coming clearer, I could talk about many things. I could talk about really many things. You want to go into economics? You want to go into government? I could talk about all of these things. This whole thing. I want to go into natural law. I could do this whole, Mark Passio, the Max Egan, and a few of us could do all these others. And I'm like, I'm tuning here in the, 4:38 in the Hawaii Dreamtime. I got a couple planets up. The moon's here. This is the dreaming moment where we're true dreaming, where we can tune in. There's virtually no distortion coming from outside or coming from inside from my own bullshit. And so I'm like, okay, what are we going to talk about? What are we going to share? And it ain't about any of that, because that's not what's really, for me, important. What are we going to do next? And this is, why this platform's opened up for us, is to share that. What we're dreaming, truth. When we accept truth, tune into it. It's beautiful. Then we'll share what comes after dreaming truth. Because we're not just, here, GAIA SOPHIA dreaming, and it's all dreaming. Remember what's the other part we tune into very strongly when we describe dreaming? Living with true dreaming comes true living. We start living the life that you could read that has been in our hearts, just waiting to be expressed. And we've always
I think the real key.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Mike.
Well, it's not some other time or some other place. All I want to remind people of, it's not some other time, some other place, some other world, some other planet.
I would say a real key also, from my own experience, is just, as I said earlier, staying open and not being pulled into the fear. Because once you're pulled into fear, the fear of the unknown, when a new experience comes before you, and, so much of the time, because it's something that you have heard about before and someone else's experience that they put fear around. And when you stay open and not get pulled into fear of this unknown, it reveals itself for what it really is. And, you just end up laughing. As we're talking about the, if you want to call it UFOs, unidentified flying objects. And I've had so many experiences, and starting as a young girl, and it's always been so exciting to me. There's never been fear, and I can share an experience on that, Mike. It might take a few minutes, so I don't know if, we want to go there, but it's just one of these examples of staying in that, that inner child of, oh my gosh, wow, this is a new experience, and not bring in that old programmed fear stuff when you meet something unknown.
Yeah, exactly.
I can share that.
Colleen,
yes.
We experience these, we think of these unknown as something maybe big or outside of ourselves. But what these things are doing is it's intimate relationship, whether it's with whatever is so-called bringing this fear up. If you got to bring it back to yourself. Intimate relationship you're having with this feeling. And that's, as Colleen shared, it's unknown, whatever it may be. And you get this emotion. And you're like, your mind can't wrap around what it is. Because you people have been confusing, yeah? And you're like, you just kind of get a little, to take a breath in that moment and realize there's nothing to fear here. It's just practice that. And do that with whenever it comes up, if it happens to be with another person, sitting alone, so-called alone, watching TV and seeing something. Just that, what can happen now? Just breathe into it and let it go. And you're doing this for all. You're really assisting in transforming this for all. That fear is to be released, not hold on to anymore. Yeah, thank you, because this tunes in so much with what I'm sharing, what we're sharing here. It's 444 in the Hawaii Dreamtime, and
that's when the magic happens, right? When you do stay open, you breathe, and you just take in the experience in the now, and not bring in that old. Why do you think all those movies and all the TV shows of the aliens coming and all that was, to promote that fear?
Yeah.
So as I'm sharing with you this is what comes with the veils. I'm like, you get the name. Now watch the fear associated. We've been talking about this sharing about this for a few weeks now. The fears surrounding people with the name game. And we've been clearing them here. This is what we've been doing. This is the power of now. And now, here's, as we get closer to the understanding of where we are, it's this fear that you're just bringing up, this fear of the unknown, and it's related to us, and just a really personal, how we interrelate with ourselves and self-love and those closest around us, or whoever, has that kind of experience with us, where we have this lesson or reminder. And it's these intimate means just anybody actually who you're having an interaction with. That this interrelation, you're not clicking into the fear. You're just not being, I got to put my protection up, I got to put my shell on. We're not. There's no need for that anymore. You're actually, because we're tuned in with our heart so much, we have protection beyond all. It doesn't even. You hear me here? You don't need that protection because it was a false protection. And when you stand, like we say, in your truth and in love, nothing's going to harm you. It won't resonate to come into your field of awareness. And as you're not tuning into fear, there's no need to have an example in your life to put up an old shield. And it's lovely. And so as we're remembering where we are, as this veil clears, this fear of the unknown, this fear of loving self is also clearing. They go hand in hand. They're not separate. And and when we recognize this, you see the wholeness. It becomes complete. Because then we can say, how can people don't get it mentally? I'm like, because they're still looking through spectacles of fear. They actually get it mentally. We all do. We get it one way or another. That's why we say, hey man, isn't this simple? Yeah. If you got to think you got to understand all that complicated jargon, you don't. That was just complicated jargon of confusion masquerading as truth and knowledge. No, it isn't. They don't even know who you are and where you are. And they want to tell you that this is this and this is that. And then suppress all other sorts of information, and even so you only get one side of the argument. I'm like, yeah, that's just you want to have a conversation or what? And with this, when we remember where we are, you're going to see a light of a new day. We're going to see a light of that new day. And we're tuning this in more and more each moment, because more and more of us are resonating in our heart space, emitting, transmitting, and receiving from here as being amplified more and more. The fear around us has been cleared, and quite naturally, that so-called dampened signal from our core is now shining forth more and more and more. It was always shining. It was just dampened with fear around it. And as that clears, the love that we are, the love that is, expressed more and more, shared more and more. Whew. That's the flow.
Yeah.
So where are we? What are you guys doing? Where are we? Because I just shared with you, I'm coming into the understanding that I ain't standing on the outside of some planet. I'm not buying that. Mike, well, what is it? I'm not quite clear. But that one that we were taught in school, I'm not buying that one. So.
Hey, Janet brought up something about the butterfly in the sky, and what are we really looking at? It was maybe 10 years ago or so, I had this aha moment where if you stand outside at night and, look up at the night sky and the stars, and you put your hand up, and you look at your hand up with the stars, see what comes to you.
Man. Yeah. Connect. You're already connected. That's why I keep saying, man. It's like
you are that. You are that. It is. It's like I'm trying to put the words to it right.
You know what I'm feeling? I'm feeling a song. I'm feeling a tune. Yeah. Let's play one.
I can see you're thinking, baby, I've been thinking too, about the way we used to be and how to start anew. Maybe I'm a hopeless dreamer, maybe I've got it wrong, but I'm going where the grass is green if you'd like to come along. Back when I was starting out, I always wanted more. But every time I got it, I still felt just like before. Fortune is a fickle friend, I'm tired of chasing fame. And when I look into your eyes, I know you feel the same. Large are starting to do us in. I won't say it wasn't fun, but now it has to end. Life is moving oh so fast, I think we should take it slow. Rest our heads upon the grass and listen to it grow. Going where the hills are green and the cars are few and far. Days are full of splendor, and at night you can see the stars. Life's been moving oh so fast, I think we should take it slow. Rest our heads upon the grass and listen to it grow.
Aloha. GAIA SOPHIA Dreaming. Thank you all for tuning in. If you'd like to call in, the number is 347-326-9530. You go to criticalmass.co.uk, Blog Talk Radio, GAIA SOPHIA Dreaming. Tune in with your heart. We're always here. I thankfully live in a place where it's pretty slow. It has its moments. But there's this reminder of competition, comparison, and thinking that is what made the world go around and function, and it's needed so we can live. And all this business and false economy attached to this notion that this is industry or empire is a necessary evil for us to live or coexist together. And I'm like, that is just so false. Just so untrue. And when you recognize that there really isn't another product needs to be made here in Earth. We have surplus junk out the yin-yang. And more and more has been made every, it's just like, I don't know if anyone saw, I was joking about cars, and all new cars sitting in lots, not just lots, I mean fields, racetracks, abandoned airports, just filled with brand new cars, not getting sold. More are being made, and I'm like, I've been describing this. There is more than enough everything. So the idea that we need to build more to live is the oxymoron we all were living with before. Like, if everything stopped producing and now, how would we live? Harmoniously and in love with each other. That's how we live. Why? Because we've recognized, it goes hand in hand, we've recognized the fallacy of what we thought we were doing to live, when it was quite the opposite. That's what you would do. To die. That was the division program. Yeah, but I have to work to live. Oh, no. Guys, but that's what we did before. Right. We did do it before. We got that lesson again. And now it's finished. Look, do you want to pass something on to your children? No way. I ain't passing it on to mine. And you're all. Next generation, gonna fix this for them, and I'm like, which part of you, like we shared so many times, that we're all here now?
Exactly.
Those pictures, I think, were, they're a real wake-up call, aren't they? It was sad to me. I was thinking of the human life energy that was put into making those cars. And I know a lot of people that used to work in those factories, and most of them, really had pride in their work and putting together a really beautifully running machine like these cars, and you think of the life energy that went into all that, and they're just sitting there, and that energy could go into things positive like organic gardening or things like that, and then also the resources taken from Mother Earth to make all those vehicles just to sit there and deteriorate. And it's all over the world, isn't it? Those lots with thousands of cars just sitting there. Hello?
Yeah, all the mics are open.
Hello?
I've given some others a chance to chime in if they feel like it. Yeah, and it's not just cars. I mean, that's the whole thing.
Yeah.
It's so much. And I could look at it as a negative. You brought up such a beautiful point there, Colleen, about how, yeah, and thank you for all that. You made enough. You don't need any more of it. That's the point. It's just like consumption junction, what's your function? You know, it's enough. It's like, what do you need next? It's like, what do you, I'm like, you know, when you have that moment to recognize your wholeness, to see a picture clearer where there's no lack or limitation, you transcend once. And I'm grateful again to recognize this. And it isn't I recognize this and, oh, I'm living this now and you're not. It's like you have different people who are like this. It's like they don't share it. I'm like, huh? When I recognize this, it's almost like it's a universal truth. I recognize this. Oh, this is for everyone. This isn't Mike's opinion. Oh, Mike recognizes it. Oh, good for his world. Like, no, I recognize this is for all of us. These are what's here. Not just for me or this certain group, and that's kind of how it's been. Only if you're rich and good-looking or whatever persuasion are you allowed in. Oh, man, it don't work like that. That's the old things we were playing with, to put it politely. And so when we have this knowledge, it's like that we've bought into a program of basically economic slavery. And you see that it's tied to mental slavery, and we call it slavery when we own this knowledge that that's what it basically is. Then you realize, we are running a limitation program of us being outside of ourselves, like a separation. And so when you do that, here are the examples that come in. And so we can keep, rehashing over the examples, but I'm like, let's get back to the root, the core. And it starts with ourselves, how we did this. It's the old saying, God looked at himself in the mirror and blinked. I don't know if that's an old saying, but I might have just made that one up. It's something like that. So, back to where we're at. So you hear that sound, that kind of, now watch, it's going to disappear. Yeah. Now there's just a little background static. So that, I'm like, here I am in the Pacific. The California coast is over here. There's basically water between us. And there's this something interfering in a way. Not interfering. Yeah, interfering, you can hear it in the clarity, in the signal, in the frequency. And this is how, when you can just imagine your body or your being, and it's kind of like this. You tune it in and you kind of get this distortion. You hear it. It's really the as above, so within, as with, mix the metaphors. As above, so below, as without, so as within. And so when you clear for you, you clear for all. It's just and we've been always, we were led to believe before that, no, it's only for you. I'm like, certain things are only for each other. We can say, yeah, that's only for me. But what we're tuning in together here as one family, whether it was for you or Cousin Joe or Uncle Steve or Aunt Agnes or whoever, we're all one family, so we're dealing with it together. So that's where we talk about when you clear it for you, you're clearing for all. Because you're clearing it for your family. You're clearing it for humanity. You're clearing it in love, actually. And that's the field. And it's a clear, and it's been, let's say, muddled, befuddled. What's that beautiful song? It's been befuddled and all these other things. And how can I express this? I feel this harmonization happening where the signal is getting clearer. And it's almost like if you ever listen to the air move in your body and it's gurgling, it's moving around, and then, we're being tuned in. We're all being tuned in, and I keep coming back to this because this is what the heart does. Whew. So 52 minutes here left.
I am muted.
Yeah, I just unmuted you.
Okay.
Left you guys some time dreaming till we roll over in the heart transmission.
Yeah.
Can I say something? Oh, 52 minutes. I gotta say it for Alvita.
Oh. Anyway, I was talking to my sister earlier this week because she was saying that she gets paid once a month, and the IRS is taking all of it and losing her penny. But she's stressed about that, and I'm telling her that, you gotta lose that name, to get out of that situation. And she's worried about losing the name and losing everything. And mind you, my mom left us land and a house that she grew up in. So you're living somewhere where you don't have to pay anything. What you're working for is things that you don't need, that it's already enough of, like you were saying. And so many, people work to buy shit that they don't need, You live rent-free, no mortgage, no nothing, and you struggling, it is you, You got to figure that out. And when I was telling her that, I got more of an understanding myself. Like, most of the stuff we try to buy, we don't even need, I can live money-free. Everything is free. Everything is here. Like you said, it's enough here for everybody. All these empty homes, more empty homes than homeless people. That don't make no sense at all. It's crazy, So
and the confusion with this homeless issue. There's people out of homes because they choose to, or they're crazy or whatnot. And you see examples around the world where, no, that's not true. And I used to always think about this. We have so much. I look at hotel occupancy rates and stuff, and I'm like, how much is that inflated? And then I look at all these buildings, like I was sharing. It's like, and then houses alone. There's more houses and cars than there are people.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it's just crazy.
More than enough. More than enough, at least. And right now, our vacant, abandoned people go, yeah, but that's my property, or they won't respect it, or whatnot. I'm like, look, whichever way you want to confuse the issue, we're sharing with our hearts that don't think money or whatnot or this. That is there enough housing, hotel rooms, whatever for people? Sure. Is there more than enough junk, whether it's most of this junk we don't need, don't use it, that yes, there is. So it's a scarcity mentality that led us into this overconsumption and imbalance.
Yeah.
With the belief that we have limited resources and we cannot continue like this. And I'm laughing. I'm like, yeah. You say that at the same time. Well, we say that at the same time as we're pumping out more products.
Exactly. It's ridiculous when you think about the money being spent on bullshit. Like, spend what, $50,000 on a wedding, and even if you stay together for life, whatever, go on the beach and get married and call it a damn day. Like, all that money for what? They just got us they got them messed up because we out of that now. But it's just crazy now thinking about all the wasted money. Oh my goodness! If you're gonna spend that monopoly stuff, at least help somebody, okay?
There you go. Gonna spend that monopoly money, help somebody.
Yeah.
And
that's why I don't have the time. Any little penny I get away. And I'm happy to do it,
And this ties right in with these base fears that we've been having, and thinking that money is necessary for our survival. In the old paradigm, yeah, it kind of was.
Yeah.
For some, more than others. Sure, I mean, I used to look at that and I'm like, well, it was a distribution problem. Don't tell me it was a scarcity issue. For me, it was always distribution. You did not want to give it away.
Yeah.
You did not want to share over there if you didn't have the money. Well, you told us to care about them. Where's your caring? I mean, it's all bullshit. The government gives this many millions and billions for aid all over the planet. Those are just to distract your attention, confuse you. It's all bullshit.
Yeah.
And now China, I just saw a quick picture. I'm calling you out, saying whoever's the prime minister of India at the moment playing this game. And the Chinese guy, and I don't know if the Russian. Now this is the BRICS team. They're going to have the back in the currency, moving from the dollar. And I'm like, this shenanigans going on. Look at this shenanigans. Who's buying this program, man? Look at this. These guys, I already pulled this one apart. You want to talk about India and money and the rupee? And shoot, you thought about the dollar bill being counterfeited? Oh, my. Welcome to India. See another inside-out, turn-it-around version of the whole. And I'm laughing because it's all monopoly money. And they're just trying to confuse you with another paperback thing. When at the end of the day, it was all zeros and ones on a computer for a long time. For a long time, it's all been in the so-called ether. Like, they took it off the gold system and screwed over all the people. I'm like, they took it off the gold back system and freed all the people, actually, in a backwards way, because all that money's imaginary, isn't it? Yes. End of story.
There you go. Yeah. Bye. I had this mental 8, and it's all about advertising. I'm like, I'm not buying shit. Supporting my radio station, that's it. All it. The Windows 8 is all about advertising and buying. I didn't know that, but it came with the laptop, and I'm like, this is ridiculous. This is why people all messed up. They don't know that they don't need to buy this and buy that. Cut that shit out. Time to come together in the heart. It's all about love now, not spending how much more can I get shit that I don't need, ridiculous. Now.
So we might buy more shit still. But we know what is. And that's that, what Elvita was sharing. It's not what it's about. See, that's what we thought it was about. Buying and having things and this, and then we're like, what are you talking about, love? Yeah, man. I'm like, yeah, the more you buy junk, the more you kind of tune out of what is. The more you think that junk is you. I just use this word junk because
that's what it is.
I like it better than things or like beautiful junk. Beautiful junk. And that we think it's necessary, the more we tune out of that love is. I just watch it. I'm like, wow, look, when you start going down this train of thought, this fades out. You tune this in, you tune this one out. It's all of a sudden, you start, you just so, it's about love. This is what it's about. It's about that. That's what family is. Like, we didn't come here to collect a bunch of things. We came here to live as family. We didn't come here to consume the planet and each other. And that's what the idea is when people just like, I just need to buy more things, and that's what their whole life is. I got to get this new thing, I got to get that. What about this other thing that you keep being reminded of, that we're all being reminded of, where we truly live? Of. Oh, yeah. Right. And what I'm sharing is it's here. It ain't somewhere else. It isn't like we lost it. As we're understanding our connection to the junk and the distortion and just the life we really don't want to live, because it isn't living, it's just consuming and false highs and lows, imitating something else. Well, real life. Real life you saw on the TV.
Right. Oh, boy.
And so I was just like, wow. Coming to an end. Nice.
It has to.
It has.
Okay. Yeah. You're dead.
This is the veil coming clear. This is clear sight. Aloha.
Hey. Oh, good morning. Happy birthday.
Thank you very much.
Happy re-entry day. Nice loop-de-loop. We got through another one. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good morning. You know how we were talking yesterday about... Good morning. How we were talking about it's going to be an X flare?
Yeah.
Well, I posted it last night. No, there was a supernova, so I got to start thinking in a bit bigger than X flares. It was good. It was good. A lot of fun last night, and it's a lot of fun today listening to you guys. Just been sitting back listening for a bit.
Okay, I'll bring it because it's all connected. The water and how we were sharing with Max, and it came really good. So why is this issue being brought up over water? Because I'm like, this is the one that you can't, as he's saying, you can't. This is the one you can't mess with. If you mess with this one, you're. I'm like, now, and then you brought into, and I was trying to bring it to the anagogic. Now, there's a reason it came to this, because as Max shared, this is the one that everyone is connecting with over there to say, hey, wait a second. And they're saying it's about the gas or whatever, and I'm like, no, it's about the water, because that's what the gas is trying to mess up. They have more than enough free energy. They're just, it goes hand in hand. It's with the and so as you were saying with the consciousness, it's and you put it into the anagogic so beautifully, and that was to me the there's the fuller picture of where we're at here. We're not just looking at it as one thing usually or another. It's let's see what's more at the heart of this matter. What's the GAIA SOPHIA sharing with us here? And with this, as you said, it's waking people up. It's the water of truth. And here it is, the heart spring in Australia. I want to say for Australia. It's like, which way you're looking? And this heart spring is being tapped, coming into people's consciousness, and it's just like, oh my! And I'm like, yeah, that's the intent. It's now flowing, and this is nature. Like, I'm just like, people are this connection we have with water. This is, I guess, part of where I'm trying to get clear, and you hear me dancing around this. They don't have the future quite clear, and that's all right. That it is getting shinier, and it's our relation with water. We talk about the earth where we are, but also it's when we talk about the earth, we got to look at the oceans, the water, so-called in the planet, the celestial water, and it's part of the structure. So when I talk about where we are, part of that is the structure we're in a way. Like I put it at the core. So we're all in the core. Just look at this. We're all in a boundless core of all. And so when we get more, let's say, closer here to describe this waking reality in certain aspects, this water is, and for me, if you have any experience with entheogens, it's a water spirit for me. And it's kind of funny that you're doing a powdered substance or a roux. Sometimes you can get this in a brew or something. You can ingest these entheogens that it's a water spirit. You connect to water spirits when you go through this. These are the, lack of a better term, the guardian spirits connected with Gaia. And when you tune in with these teacher plants and let's say beings that normally we don't see, and this is coming clearer, because as the spectacles of fear are being removed, our eyes are opening to what is here with us, and it's a beautiful, lovely world with nature and all that harmonious living we dreamed of as kids, that we were imagining. Oh, imagine a world with all. Yes, we did. This is what we're waking up with. As the spectacles of fears that were overlaid on us are removed.
I'd like to share a perspective, Mike.
Please do.
Okay. When we start looking at things as being word cause over it instead of being at effect to it. So when you look at things literally, you're at effect to the physical reality. Remember, the physical realities in the past are caught in time, right? Life takes time to travel. So everything you see, you will never see now. So when you look at things literally, you're actually at complete effect to everything around you. And this is where, for me, this is what had to be mastered, of looking at it and going, wait a minute, okay, if this is all effect, how does one become cause? Well, one becomes cause very simply by changing one's reality, by defining one's reality as to how they see it. You see, I've used the seed of, the concept of planting a seed in someone's mind and how quickly it can happen by saying, like I said before, do not think of a kangaroo. Now, you just did. So let's redefine kangaroo to be something other than what you've been indoctrinated into calling it, or thinking what it is. And this is how you redefine your reality. So Ka, which is the spirit, and infinitely mine. Take the hex out, put the K in, Ka. So you've got the spirit, personified spirit, infinitely mine, spirit through spirit breath, and you have the oo sound, which you can spell that any way you want. I like the double O because it's the spirit breath of creation upon itself. So now it has a completely different concept attached to it. Instead of just being an animal that jumps around. This is what it's a very difficult concept to explain to people. But when you redefine a word into what you want it to intend, that's how you redefine your reality. So that someone, if I was to come along and say kangaroo again, you now have something else to think about. You're not going directly to jail, do not pass go. You're no longer trapping yourself in that one definition that someone else gave you. Remember, everything that we speak is from a language that was painted on our canvas for us. And I don't care if it's English, French, German, I don't care what language it is. These were all things that were painted as per someone else's definition in such a way that, let's say the first human was to point at a tree and call it Ugh and reinforce Ugh with the community, they control the reality of what that tree is called. That's the true art. And words are art, without a doubt. And I would urge people, I'm going to talk about this tonight in great detail, but I would urge people to watch Daybreakers. I wanted to make sure that I cleaned out a lot of stuff in my own universe before I watched it, because I knew it was going to be a potent movie, and it is. It's probably the most perfect allegory. And the hard part for people to get a grip on, I think, with this movie is coming to terms with the fact that until you awaken and start serving others, you are a vampire, feeding on others. And that's what money does to us. It creates vampires of us. So I'm glad you guys were talking about that a little bit. But imagine, let's take this outside the box just a little bit further, excuse me, with regards to the supernova. When you see space as the mind, which it is, have a look at the brain and the fractal, and it looks exactly like the universe. Isn't that funny? It's because it is. It's a fractal of a fractal of a fractal. So when you create a cause with intention, something's going to happen in that mind. So it's not the energies coming in from the supernova or from these planets. It is the cause of you changing them. This is how you change your stars. So the supernova is the effect of our cause. This is what I mean. I use the literal effect to verify the spiritual causes and intentions that we put out at the table. Is this getting a bit clearer for everybody?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, yes, me.
Yeah. No. Again. This is about flipping this on its head and stop being at effect to the literal reality. Because when we talk of the literal reality, literally, we are creating it literally as per someone else's definition. This is where the child within must return to go, no, I'm going to change my reality by defining my reality in my terms, no one else's. My canvas is wiped clean, and I'm going to take my paintbrush and I'm going to decide what a sound means. This is why removing the charge and the energy contained within these sounds. Look at how simple a word you can use to create such an energetic response. It's just a sound.
Yeah.
A sound that means something here, as per someone's definition of it and agreement of it. You say it somewhere else, they'll look at you with a head tilt and go, huh? And that is the power of words. And the minute we start redefining our words, our sounds, is the instant we become cause over things. And the less you vampire around you in the literal, this planet is full of vampires. Now, you can talk about the elites and everything else. They're just really bad versions of vampires. They're just a very badly infected. You'll see these layers in this movie, Daybreakers. An astonishing movie. And I'll tell you that...
It's just a Russian.
What's that?
It's just a Russian one.
No. Daybreakers is... it just came out. I just put up the link on Footlocker.
Okay.
I downloaded it, I think a week ago, and I always wait until I feel that I need to watch it. So I waited. And I looked at it actually every night since I got it. I said, no, not tonight, because there's something profound here that I need to wait for. I always feel my way through things, right? I'm never in a hurry, and this is why this is a problem with humanity. Everyone's in a hurry, you know? And that's why people want to have petitions and want to have protests and all this, because they're in a hurry to get something solved that they need to solve within themselves. And looking for the instant gratification in the literal effect world. That's vampiring, okay? That's feeding upon the reality instead of creating and co-creating it. And what you guys were talking about with regards to money, yes, money is both good and evil depending on the intention, right? When you use it to destroy the system, that's using evil to destroy itself. And that's exactly, for me, this is why I cannot be owned or own money or anything, and it travels through me. And for me, it's about letting go to let that flow continue.
Mm-hmm.
The vampires in us all, need to be exercised to the degree that we are owned by needing this or, not needing, but wanting this and wanting that and all the rest of it. When you start realizing the domino, I've often used the example of, I'll look at a piece of paper, and now start to think of all the industries that are involved and how many lives are involved in creating a sheet of paper. You've got the loggers out there. You've got the manufacturers of the tree cutters. You've got the tool makers. You've got those that get oil out of the ground, ripping oil out of the ground to feed these machines. Now, and I haven't even got to the pulp yet. Okay, the plastics that go into the helmets and the clothing and everything. When you start seeing everything that is connected to what goes into making one piece of paper, you will see the level of destruction this paper sea is.
Mm-hmm.
There has been nothing more destructive on this planet than the invention of paper as we see it today. It'd be a little different if it was hemp. But you understand the domino there, okay? The paper is the domino. And now look at how many other dominoes are connected to it. So when you take out one domino, you take out the whole chain. So you take out the key dominoes, and you're the key domino in the whole chain.
Yeah, and I'm watching Fall Cave.
Yep.
And we were talking about this as you're describing the picture of where we are. And this is where I was sharing, and we were like, if you go to the mall or the airport and you're looking at a map and it has the red dot, you are here. I joke that the red dot covers the whole board and it represents you in the core if you're everywhere. So as we come, like, let's just say focused in here, from this perspective, kind of this inside-out perspective, it's very, well, it's coming clear. That's all I can keep saying is for the moment. And as you say, that's one way you look at the space. You're looking at the mind. And I'm so, my heart sings when I hear you share about how we're the cause of the supernova, and that's the cause, and that's the effect. because I always recognize that interrelatedness of all, that it isn't the other way around. Why does that supernova explode? Oh, because something la-da-dee-da-da-dee-da. I'm like, what? No way, man. I never thought that. What normally science passed off is, well, speculation of what they think this is about. And here we are going, no, this is what it's about, actually, guys, because it's from us. And so this idea of looking out into the mind to define where we are is a really confusing one, Kate, and I'd like to get this clear.
Daybreakers, I'll tell you right now, you guys have heard me talk about once you become the untouchable and understand who you are and heal thyself, the shields go up and woe betide a vampire if he tried biting you, because they get poisoned. And you're going to see this. My jaw dropped when I'm watching this perfect allegory. This is why I knew I had to wait to watch this. It was perfect. Everything is perfect. And when you see the end of this movie, Allegory, and what happens when Willem Dafoe plays, well, always an awesome role, but Willem Dafoe is a self-healed vampire. He went through the fires in the sun. You'll see it in the movie. And ended up splashing into the waters of truth, and that's what saved him. He went through the fires of the Phoenix. Your minds are going to be blown when you watch this.
Hey, Chief, I saw it years ago.
Dave Rise, it's a brand new movie.
2009.
Is it really? I thought it was newer than that.
Remember how we were just talking about 2009, dude? That other...
The bull, the Matador one, yes.
Yeah.
And yes, Matadors are a bunch of cowards. Look at the system. Look at the vampires feeding on us. The bulls come into the arena, and they're already dying. They've already been lanced. So you've got a bunch of cowards dressed up in Mickey Mouse costumes, murdering animals. But I'd really love to share this article, guys, because it is such a powerful article. I did save the link to it. It's only 3 or 4 paragraphs. It's very short. But this guy, Stuart Wilde, just nails it. And when you listen to it anagogically, as what we're doing to the system right now, the tables are turned. Remember, I only read things in the now. I don't care when it happened. I don't deal in past, I don't deal in future, I deal in now. So this is what the universe is telling me right now. So this is from Stuart Wilde. 2009, which is right now. It exists right now. That moment is still in reality right now. You just don't have an awareness of it. A record number of matadors and their helpers in the ring have been gored this season. The bulls are learning to ignore the cape and hit the legs. Right? Now remember, where is Capricorn located? At the knees, the Christ consciousness. So this is Christ consciousness taking them out at the knees. The matadors are terrified, and well, they should be. They can't understand what has changed. Well, we awoke. A very famous matador has taken a broadcasting job. He only fights part-time now. He's so rattled. Well, it gets better. Next, the bulls are being taught to strike at the heart with the left side hook of the horns. So there's taking out there's the horn of the unicorn, taking out the heart of the vampires. You get the visual of the stake through the heart. So these are the bulls that are getting this. Now the bulls know a few famous matadors have to die in quick succession. Alfandi and Ponce are in the firing line. Ponce is very arrogant. He thinks he can't be touched. Sound like the system to you? Yep. Ponce de Leon? Yeah, of course. 2 weeks ago, the bulls knocked over and injured one of Ponce's team, so they're getting close. Bullfighting is a sacrament of demonic blood cult, just as black magicians sacrifice chickens or drink human blood at their ceremonies. Another vampire reference. The matadors are cowards. As the bulls are lanced, there's your Baal lance, and are already dying before the fight starts. Yeah, there's a fair fight, yeah. Bullfighting will end as the economy collapses and the snivellers become ever more terrified. And that's what's happening right now. You're seeing this this is playing out right now. The vengeance of Gaia hangs over Madrid. Yes, it does. It is a digital fractal net that is 40 to 50 miles wide and 100 or more yards high. I see it as mathematics, a vast block of mathematical formulas and geometries in the sky. I can't tell what event or vengeance is in it, but I was shown Gaia will take out 8 humans, men, women, and children for every bull that has died. Actually, let's put in vampires there, shall we? So bullfighting has cost the Spanish, or more accurately, humanity, dearly, very dearly indeed. They will sadly lose their children as the bulls and cows lost theirs. This is how nature balances. People can run and they can hide, but Gaia locked on decades ago. She knows the identity, name, and exact location of every single human that she is after. Vampire, rather. There are 1 billion or more on her list, I reckon, maybe more. All equations have to be balanced before the end. The process will now begin. Hasta la vista. Now, you tell me that's not a powerful anagogic in the now. I mean, I think back to 2009, while I knew the term Gaia, I was still in a completely different life at that time. So you can imagine how this resonated with me. And this is why I look at things anagogically. But there you go, Mike. Right in your face.
Let's bring it back to the, it's now. And thank you so much, kid. It's always in the now. And Ponce just got it. So the guy he referenced in who thought he was too arrogant, he got gored a little while back. And
you pronounce Ponzi, by the way. Ponzi de Leon.
So he got it. And again, there's the representation to show you this is now. That's so powerful. Now it transcends the idea that, like we said, limitation of when we thought certain things happened. Just like right now, that movie. It's like, oh, how is that right? Because it's like music. When you hear certain music, you go, oh, that's timeless. And there's a reason you say that. It's because it's connecting us with ourselves in such a way that we connect to the eternal beings that we are, and we, as Kate was sharing right there, that article, even though it had the date 2009, it's now. And that's when you look at things from the anagogic, the spiritual, the causal nature that we are, you recognize what is happening. Otherwise, you're still looking at it from only an effect, what happened, and just you're just doubting anything that what might have caused it. And that's just a confusion because you're at effect. Whenever you're at effect, you try and look back at the causal nature of things. It's like, who did that? Who did this? Why they did that? And it's he said, who said, whatever said. And it's just the imbalance of our perspective. We left the important one out. And so, I love to hear how he just laid it out, described it. This 40 to 50 mile. Gaia knows where you are. Travel affairs everywhere.
Yes, I do. Oh, yes, I do. Take full responsibility, people. You are that. Gaia, the personified spirit of the Yan through Yin. Gaia.
So if you look at Daybreakers and how he went through that fire, how the way the William Dafoe's character did it, that was like the hardcore burn he went through. And then he puts what's his name? Ethan Hawke. He puts him through the torture.
And how many times did he have to get hit with a fire?
Was it 7?
3 times.
3.
And of course, he was always protected with a wet blanket wrapped around him. You are always protected with the truth. You will never be destroyed through the fires of your crucifixion, your phoenix rising, while you stand with the truth around you. Pay very close attention to the mystical meanings of things. When I see water, I see truth. When I see fire, I see the purging energies. When I see air, I think spirit. So anytime these things are referenced, that's where I go. This is how I read anagogically. It's like, okay, what is it really saying to me? I know what it's saying to me literally. That's a no-brainer. Anybody can look at something and say it's a clock. I see something different.
Let's take it here. So when they talk about the west wind, and you reminded me, and it's kind of related to the spirit wind, and in here in Hawaii they have that kind of still remembrance where it's forces of nature, and what you're kind of clear, if it's air, which is wind, this is spirit moving. And this is how we do sometimes relate to Mother Nature in a way. When we talk about, winds moving, in this way we do have sometimes make it personal. But it is this, because if we recognize it, that it isn't just wind, that it's air, that it's spirit, that you see the interconnectedness of all. Thank you for reminding me of this. So it is spirit moving. It is when you feel the air inside you. It is spirit gurgling through there in a way. So it's not looking at it as from basically a one-dimensional perspective. It's just a rock. It's just the wind.
It's just the wind. But remember, the more you stay in literal conversations, the more literal you're creating. When you start redefining it, and this is where the magic truly lies. This is where you'll see the true yellow brick road, the Interstate 60. O.W. Grant shows up. Ray shows up. And all of the magic and miracles start happening around you. It's when you start accepting all things and go, cool, I'm just going to be neutral in this. When you accept all things, you become neutral. You don't become a player at effect or at cause. So get neutral.
Can you break down wind? Can you break down wind? Wind.
Well, again, I just see that as moving spirit. So the faster the wind, the faster the spirit moves. Because again, you cannot. What's that?
Phonetically.
Oh well, we're going to change the W to the O and the D. Take the mirror away and put the capital LT, which is the law of truth, right? So it becomes O wind. So you have the O, which is creation of I, the self, infinitely mine through the law of truth. So that's what the spirit. The more wind you put into your existence, well, that's going to push you further and further east on your lateral time slide into the better timeline. You see, the reality around you changes when you do, not the other way around. And people are constantly at effect to others around them, not realizing that they are the cause of it. So the more you heal within yourself, this is a very tough one for people to get. And I totally get it, because you've got to get way outside this to have a look at it. But when you, excuse me, when you understand that every reality, everything you could ever imagine has already been imagined, is in place in the mind right now. What we're doing is playing a game of every variable. So from your point of consciousness, when you change your mind, that variable was accounted for. That whole reality existed before you changed your mind. And then that's when you enter that variable. And this is so mind-blowing. When you really get this concept, it completely opens up the universe for you. You start understanding that you have the choice, no one else. You have the choice to change your reality by how you think, because every thought you have is caused. That is a fact. This is why I've asked people, are you ready to have every thought you think of manifest? And well, I'll tell you no, but here's the irony. It will. Until you get a grip on this and get neutral, where every thought is not going out with loosey-goosey intent that you're ignorant of. When you put a rein This is how you reign yourself. This is your kingdom to rein in and hold back, to make sure that only the things that you wish to be created are manifest in that reality. They're already created. I hate using the word manifest. I really do. Because everything exists now. When I read that article, it was written in 2009. Did you hear it now? So it is now. That is what we experience every instant. 63 trillion frames per second. Try to imagine that versus the 24 frames per second you see in the physical. Just a slight difference. We're seeing things a whole lot slower. And that's what we're doing. We're observing our infinite mind in a way that we can experience it without all the chaos. So we have the chaos and the order acting together. Right? So when one wants to take control of the other, there's where you have the problem. There's where you have the dualities. When you get both of them working together and realize that order is chaos, look at all the systems that they're trying to bring order to society and it's creating chaos. And then, of course, chaos is order because nature will always follow the golden mean. So there's going to be order in that. And just because you can't see it in a square box, all square boxes and buildings, all this are very, very low-level creations. They really are. When you look at the perfection of a tree, it'll blow your mind, because when you start looking at it in its perfection, it looks like, the branches are going everywhere and leaves and everything, but that's not the case. That's the illusion of chaos. It is perfectly ordered. Perfectly ordered. I just like to stand right between chaos and order. Hope that helps a little bit. I mean, these are concepts that are so difficult to get because they're so simple. Just understand that everything is now. Everything is now. Get that thought in your mind. And that the only thing that changes everything around you is how you change your mind within. This is why meditation is so powerful. Because what it does is it slipstreams your lateral shift into a better reality. This is why the imagination had to be shut down and boxed in order for this boxed reality to continue. And we've busted those boxes. The box no longer exists. And when you understand that all of space is just a fractal of the larger mind, the supernova, that's when that big thought comes in. Okay? You've just fired up another neuron, if you will. So look at yourself as cause and stop being an effect to everything around you. Change your reality by defining it as you see it. You'll feel a lot better, I promise.
I believe you. That's so crystal clear.
So it's 5:52 in the Hawaii Dreamtime. Give a shout out to Paul Giovanni and the crew at Critical Mass, Ninja Baby, all of us who tune in with the Emerald Table. Much love, much gratitude. Thank you for coming home and reminding me of the same.
And thank you for giving us a place to come home too.
Their walls are falling. The momentum is now with us. It's our time now. At the most pivotal point in history is Critical Mass Radio, 24/7 Truth Radio. Help us to help you. Please go to www.criticalmassradio.co.uk and subscribe £1, £2 or £3 a month. The critical mass has been reached. We must come together. We must stand together. For ourselves, for each other, for our future generations. criticalmassradio.co.uk. Now, it's our turn.
Aloha. So aloha, Mama. All right now. wanted to say again, happy birthday to my mom, with my mom.
Is she still in there with us?
Planet, yeah, she's here.
Hi.
Hey, Mom.
I love you.
I love you too.
Love you.
Yeah, you want to say happy birthday real quick? Oh, wait a minute. Michael?
Yeah, I hear you.
Wait, you didn't hear what Dad said, did you?
No.
Oh, okay, good.
Well, happy birthday, son.
Thank you, Dad.
I love you a whole bunch. I listened. My ear is not broken. My thoughts were there, trying to take everything in. The last gentleman talking,
That's Kate, Dad.
Yeah, that's the mouthy tranny. I'm the mouthy tranny.
Yeah.
Wonderful to meet you guys. Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad. It's awesome. Your son rocks.
Yeah, I enjoyed it all. You know, I would be contradicted to everything you say because I like to get more out of you, and then I like to understand it better, and that's the only way you get your point made. It's not arguing. It's debating right and wrong and coming down the middle, as you put it. I love you very much. Here's your mother.
Hello. Are you
Thanks,
still
Dad.
on the air, my darling?
Yeah, 555 in the Hawaii Dreamtime.
Michael, I want a CD of that girl. Does she have
Yeah, Mom. Make a copy of Kate's music for you.
Oh, thanks a lot. I want it. So nice, so beautiful.
Well, thank you.
All right,
All right, am I hanging up now?
No, you don't have to.
You don't have to hang out with us. This is great. Michael, this is awesome. I wish my mom and dad were still around to be able to join me on there. This is beautiful.
Oh.
Yeah.
What was that remark, Michael? Yeah.
Kate was saying it's beautiful that you're here with us, hanging out.
Yeah, what was your reaction?
Of course.
Oh, okay, I didn't hear
Say
it.
the same thing anyways. It's not like I'm hiding my thoughts. So the
Oh, I
sun
know
is,
you're not hiding your thoughts. Michael Deshane has his own thoughts and he could talk. So, sometimes I like to choke him, but other than that, he's my baby. All right, Michael?
I can feel him blush from here. This is awesome. Have at him, Mom. Have at him. This is awesome.
You
well,
like it?
hey, Mom, the sun's rising. I get just now rising. I can see it just over there rising, and this is it.
Oh.
This is us tuning in family. I share this. Many times my feet are in the water, and I'm calling my mom. Hey, Mom, here we are. Where you at? I'm standing in the water. She's like, what? Mom, this is the love. Thank you.
Oh, I'm so happy. You know, when Michael was little, I think he was in second grade. Michael's always been smart, smarter than me. And he wrote, the only thing, when he grew up, he wanted to live in Hawaii and have a red car. And I forget what, I mailed him the thing he wrote in kindergarten or second grade or whatever. He should read it to you. It's over the air one time. It all happened, only he got a bright yellow car. Right, Michael?
Yeah, one that hopefully starts flying.
Oh, really?
He loves you.
Okay, I'm going to hang up now. What time do you go off the air?
About 2 minutes, but then it rolls over since you called in. You're good. I'm just going to meet you out, Mom. Much love. I'll talk to you later today.
Okay. Love to all. I'm glad you listened to Michael's show. Okay.
You're back.
Okay. Talk to you later.
Thank you, Michael.
All right, Mom. We all love you.
Bye.
So, yeah.
That's great.
About 90 seconds here to the rollover. Sun has just now come over the horizon and shining beautifully here. As Kate shared, I see the sun rising like a supernova. I look at the sun as this other. Here we are. It's this intimate connection that when I see the sun, it's not just I'm looking at the sun. It's reminding me of how we're all connected. We're one soul. And this relation we have with all, it's reminding me of this non-separation, not this the sun's over there and we're over here. It's reminding me of this that we're together, like family. And as we recognize the world outside, that we call it, and redefine it in that way. As Kate was sharing, that here to have that intimate relation and think and have those thoughts. You're redefining your reality. In a way, you're becoming in tune with what really is the resonance of what is. Much love for tuning into GAIA SOPHIA Dreaming. Every day, outside the box, Kate GAIA, massradio.co.uk. Aloha.
Aloha.
So thank you for sharing with my mom today. Feel free to, any moment, say I love you, because I say it, and I'm blessed to be able to call my mom up and just be able to share that with her. I'm happy to be able to do that and bring that smile on my mother's face into her being. Just a simple thing is that somebody posted earlier, a smile. Really, you want to get to the simple. A smile is an act of love. Thank you.
Happy birthday, Michael.
Oh, yeah, thank you for reminding me. I already forgot.
Happy birthday, Michael.
Hi, Barbara.
Hi there, girls and guys.
Aloha.
Aloha.
Hey, Barbara.
Happy birthday, Michael. This is your day, the 23rd. You join the ranks of the other 23rd people that I know, like Miley Cyrus, Chaka Khan, and my cousin Gloria. I usually call them my Trinity. But now that I know that you're the 23rd, you done turned into my elements. Now I got the earth, wind, fire, and water situation. That's how I remember people and things about people is through numbers. I got into numerology watching Jim Carrey in that movie 23rd. I have never been so shocked in my whole entire life. I could not imagine how that movie would have ended. I could even imagine Jim Carrey getting to that state of mind. But that movie was really good production, whatever it was. I haven't watched a movie like that since, but I did enjoy that 23. And in the beginning of the movie, it was a young lady that came on and introduced numerology to people who had not ever experienced it. And she taught us how you can take the numbers and turn it into a single number, and then that would be the number that really resonated with you more so. That's a little thing. If you ever watch that movie 23rd on the video, instead of that CD theater, it's on that portion about numerology. So happy birthday again, number 23. Not to think about Michael Jordan and all those ballers. I know. How old are you today, Mike? 29?
45.
Well, 45 years ago, your mother would say, get him out of me! Get him out of me!
I joke with her about this, Barbara. Yeah. It's right now. You know, it's about 10 minutes. She's like, thank you. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Yeah, thank you, Mom.
What time were you born, Michael?
What?
What time were you
I was
born?
born like 9 minutes ago.
Welcome to the new world, Michael.
You can call me 9.
You feel important, isn't it?
Yeah, it finally hit consciousness. Awesome stuff. Listen, guys, I'm gonna have to roll out of here. I just wanted to make sure that I was most definitely in today for it's just for the fact that this is a beautiful place to be, but it makes it more fun with Michael's birthday and feeling him flush with Mom and Dad on the air. And a special thanks to your dad. I really have to do something about his voice, don't I? Anyway,
No, that's an original right there.
Oh yeah, it's okay. I have a permanent husky morning bedroom voice. Okay, we'll just leave it at that. So anyway, guys.
Thanks for coming, Kate.
Oh, hey, always a pleasure. Thanks for being here. You know,
And what you shared was just so beautiful. It so resonated. So, when you have that truth in your whole body, you feel it in your whole body, and the tears come just of that recognizing truth. So thank you.
Well, thank you. You do the same for me, right?
Yeah,
exactly.
For each other, yeah.
That's right. So this is why we do it together. We all have our magic keys, and you, like I said, I'm the co-creation of all my experience with all of you and everything in my life. So how can I claim anything? You see, this is why the gratitude is infinite, because I'm infinitely grateful for all of the experiences that I'm allowed to share this. So it's a perfect singularity. And I just sit in that beautiful space. And, you know, the universe delivers every time. You just have to accept all things and allow it. And watch the magic. Pure magic. It's beautiful. And on that note, I'm just going to say a great big, you already know I love you. And we'll catch you guys in about 7 hours, I guess. Okay?
Yes, indeed. Okay, much love all. Anyone else like to chime in real quick? Please feel free to do. Thank you all for tuning in to GAIA SOPHIA Dreaming. Man, much love.
Aloha.
Aloha.
All right. I see you at the table soon enough. Thank you all.
Enjoy your
Critical Mass Radio. Now it's our turn.
I will do, and I am. Thank you so much.
That's right. We're going to celebrate on your Facebook page. Bye.